Hello, fabulous Libra. Welcome to your horoscope for the month of April 2014, Love Focus. I am your astrologer, Nadiya Shah. Thank you for being here. Well, last month ended with an important new moon taking place in your opposite sign. And I did speak about it then. Well, that's actually the energy you're carrying into this month with. So this particular new moon was actually activating or part of what's known in astrological circles as the cardinal grand cross. And so what that means is some really important placements are happening in cardinal signs that are part of the shifts in culture that we're seeing these days, really, these years, and especially since 2012. And this particular new moon was sort of awakening this desire for change and evolution. Because you are a cardinal sign, it was speaking right to the heart of you, and it was being reflected, because this new moon is in your opposite sign, was being reflected in your relationships, in your understanding of what needs to change, where it is that you need to feel you're getting a fresh start in relationships. So that's actually the energy you're carrying into this month, with some really profound understandings continuing in the first days of the month as to where you are in love, if you like where you are, where it is that you need to experience change. It's like your soul is demanding that things change. And for a lot of Libras out there, I do think, especially in the early part of the month, some of that change might just be very instant. And I say that because the sun, in the very beginning of the month, the sun is going to meet Uranus in the sky, sort of adding power and potency to that energy of change that's been happening there since that new moon took place. So now, here you are, you're entering the month, you've got this energy with you and you're building. Some of you would have had the breakthrough as soon as this new moon arrived at the very, very end of March. Others will have to wait for the first few days, the first 10 days of this month to fully experience this understanding. However, everybody, all Libras out there in love in some way, are set to have an awakening, are set to leave the past behind, are set to look at this other person very differently, and from there decide which way to go. For some of you, looking at them differently is going to propel you towards them if you see them as part of you creating a new life and new change. For others, it may just repel you. It may just have you saying, okay, wow, I really can do without this, and having you like basically rip off a Band-Aid. I do think that there are going to be some Libras out there who decide, no, I'm done with this, thank you very much, and decide to move on. Now, what happens in the middle of the month, as I spoke about in the general horoscopes, is the full moon eclipse that takes place in your sign. This is huge because when an eclipse takes place in your sign, it involves the moon, right? A lunar eclipse, it's the moon. And the moon is a symbol of really what matters to us most on a level of emotion. It's what we need to feel cared for and how we care for others. And so the moon is very strongly associated with love, the type of love that has to do with relationships. So whereas your ruling planet, Venus, has to do with love in the sense of pleasure, in the sense of receiving, in the sense of attraction and beauty and that type of love. She is the goddess of love for that reason. And then Mars, moving through your sign right now, is about the physical attraction we have to other people. It's about the energetic responses we have to other people. The moon is really important as well where it comes to looking at love, because it has to do with where it is that you feel at home, which ultimately is a feeling, is an experience that all of us here on this planet are going for in this life. And a lot of people, and especially those of your sign, find that feeling in partnerships. And so you have this important eclipse taking place. And this is going to help you get really clear on what truly matters to you in your heart, but more importantly, what is over, what it is that needs to end. And so for some of you out there, given that there's these shocks taking place at the beginning of the month, and then we get you to the end of the month and you're like, okay, yeah, I totally am ready to acknowledge that. I saw this a while back. Now I'm ready for the energy to shift. Those of you in a committed partnership are likely to come to some sort of agreement by the time we get you to the middle of the month. Now, it looks like this person is very clear with you about who they are at the beginning of the month and what it is that needs to change. And chances are this change, this revelation introduces itself very quickly at the beginning of the month. But it really is in the middle of the month that you sort of get on board with the changes that need to happen. And this is where I'm seeing a real shift happen for you, as I spoke about in the general horoscope videos. This particular eclipse is really about you. It's about what's happening within you, your own energy, your own heart. And I'm seeing this as a time where you decide to forgive and put the past behind you, or to leave a certain pattern and way of being behind you. You're understanding how you've participated in what is manifested, and now you want to participate in something new. So it involves leaving something behind. Those of you who have somebody in your sphere, maybe not a partner, but somebody that you sort of have been looking at or really dating perhaps as well. This particular eclipse does indicate, and along with the phenomenon at the beginning of the month, it does indicate seeing this person very differently. And I'm going to be really honest, it does look like some of you out there may be like, I'm better off without this person. Okay, this is who you are. It really is, you know, as Maya Angelou says, when people show you who they are, believe them. Well, this is very much of you believing it by the time we get to the middle of the month. In the beginning of the month, they're showing you who they are. And in the middle of the month, that's when you get to decide if this is something really good or really not. That's when you're going to realize that either it's your own stuff that's been creating distance or hasn't been allowing you to get close, or it really is them. So it's going to go one way or the other. I don't see it being very middle ground. Either you realize that you're with an amazing person and you want to take this further, or you realize that you are with somebody who's really not amazing and not somebody that you want to get closer to. If those of you who are, those of you out there who are open to love, not currently allied with anybody, then this could play out with really a light bulb moment into what has been happening within you and your own heart. Maybe energetically has been not allowing a real love connection to happen. And so what I'm seeing is, especially for the singles out there, a really powerful moment when you realize that you've been holding on to an energy, or you see yourself and you see that how it is really you, whether you've said that you want to be with somebody or not, it really is you that has kept yourself single. It isn't about opportunity at all. It isn't about what's happening in the external world at all. It isn't about a lack of meeting people or any of that. It is about you and the energy that you've been emitting, and how you've been sort of energetically holding on to something that now needs your forgiveness, but more importantly, needs your release. All in all, though, it's a powerful month for Libras out there, emotionally and love-wise as well. It's a month that's meant to free you and get you to be honest with yourself. And it is truth that will set you free in love and in every area of life. Thank you for watching. It'll be a great month. Be fabulous and enjoy.